Welcome back, and today we're going to be looking at the CJRB Large Pyrite. I know a lot of people were excited because the smaller Pyrite was a little bit too small for them, and I was kind of excited because I was hoping it would stay in that thin nature, because it's always nice to be able to have a big knife that carries like a small knife. You got that same beautiful drop point blade, nice stonewash finish, and that AOR PM9 stainless steel. That is an excellent budget steel. I've tested it numerous occasions and it's done excellent. You got a nice needle-like point right there for piercing task. You have a beautiful sharpening choil that clears the plunge line, so you can have a lot of sharpening light before it starts to widen up in the back. You have some jimping up top that is pretty grippy. You got a high flat grind that comes down nice and thin, around 14 thousandths behind the edge. So this thing should be a slicing machine. Let's find out. Man, CJRB does such an excellent job with their factory edges. This thing came wicked sharp, and it felt like it had a ton of bite to it, and this thing is slicing like nobody's business. Super slicey, great blade shape because you got a lot of cutting edge, and yeah, I can't wait to see how it does on the rest of the testing, but so far excellent. Now we're going to test the ergos and how well that edge wants to bite into this piece of birch. And I'll be honest, I was kind of worried because these are shadow box scales, and it's a thinner scaled knife. I think it's like 0.43 thick in the scales. So I was a little worried that it was going to be fatiguing right away, and I was worried that I was going to be able to pinch these scales in too much to where it's going to be uncomfortable. But boy, was I wrong. In this hammer grip, I was very locked in, and I could get a lot of power behind the cut. And it was very comfortable. I had absolutely no hot spots. And if you are worried about the flex, I heard the G10 doesn't flex at all. So this one, excellent job. I could have done this for a lot longer. Now we move to the 1/2-inch twisted sisal rope, and right away, man oh man, does this knife have some bite to it. They do such an amazing job with the factory edges. It just blows me away. This thing is going through pretty much every cut with a push cut, and it's going through it very fast. I'm using that same portion of that edge, and this drop point is perfect for cutting on a flat cutting surface, and I couldn't be happier. And there's nothing better when the knife performs like this, so it doesn't give me severe blisters like some of them do. But pinch grip was comfortable. We ended up getting through 41 cuts before I run out of the strip of rope I have. And it most certainly could have done a lot more than that. Probably double if I had to take a wild guess. But excellent job so far. Even though the tip is a little above the pivot area or the center line of the scales, you can still use that belly to do drag cuts. Would I have liked it to be a little lower? Yeah, of course. But I can't really complain because this thing blasts through every material like it wasn't even there. Even the thick, dense tubing, yeah, amazing. That tip area must be nice and thin because it goes through materials very fast, and it's holding that edge very nicely all the way to the end. It still has a lot of aggression to the edge. I can feel it when I'm cutting this denim. Couldn't be happier. This thing performed outstanding. Like most of the AOR PM9 knives I've tested in the past. Excellent budget steel. And now let's test that edge after all that cutting. Yeah, that's why I love AOR PM9 as a budget steel. This excellent edge. All right, let's close it up and take a look at the deployment in action. This is a thumb stud knife, and this thing rockets out. Beautiful button lock action, nice fall shut action. It's riding on ceramic ball bearings, and it's a very smooth action. I don't have any button stick on mine. You can also slow roll it rather easily. You can reverse flick it. Yeah, this is definitely has a fidgety action to it. Nice snappy action too. All right, let's close it up. Take a look at the handle scale area. You have shadow boxed micarta on this one. Just meaning that the stainless scales are a little bit proud of the actual micarta, but they are nice and rounded and no sharpness in any spot that I felt. You have a Torx T8 for your pivot, T8 on your body screws. Excellent job there. The only T6 you have are on the pocket clip, unfortunately, but I'm okay with that. You do have a lanyard hole for the lanyard people out there. Now these are pretty thin scales coming in at 0.43 thick. So I was kind of scared that they were going to be uncomfortable whenever I started bearing down. However, I thought they were very comfortable. You have a fairly neutral handle, so no crazy choils or anything. It fits my medium-sized hand nice, and I have tons of room back there, so it should fit your large, extra large hands just fine. I was also worried because on these micarta ones, I can flex those scales pretty good, and that's because micarta is not a very rigid material when it's this thin. But I was told that the G10 variations don't have that same flex, so that's awesome. If that's something that bothers you, then I would go with the G10. However, I would tell you right now, even with the micarta, I was bearing down on it into the wood, and I could feel the flex, but it wasn't uncomfortable, so it's all up to you. The micarta has that furry feeling. It's nice and grippy. One thing I love about micarta. You do have a tip-up deep carry left or right-handed pocket clip that sits all the way down into the pocket. I would have liked to see this this clip inset into the micarta, but at least they did countersink those clip screws. The blade centering on this one is absolutely perfection. You do have flow-through construction, 2 standoffs in the back, so if you want to blow it out with some compressed air or wipe it out with a Q-tip, you can. Lockup on mine, rock solid, no play up or down, left or right. Now I can flex the blade side to side just because of the thinner scales, but I had no issues whenever I was using this knife with this knife coming undisengaged or anything. Your button lock is, they have a recessed spot so you don't accidentally disengage it. And like I said, I don't have any button stick on mine at all. The inside of this one is heavily skeletonized on the top and bottom. They did an excellent job to relieve the weight. And the weight on it is 3.48 ounces, which is outstanding because this is an 8.75 inch total length knife with a 3.7 inch blade. So outstanding. It carries like a much smaller knife. Now for some quick size comparisons, we have the Ontario Rat Model 1 and 2. It's bigger than both of these, even the Rat Model 1. Next, we have the Spyderco PM2 and the CJRB regular size Pyrite. Lastly, we have the Kaiser XL Begleiter and the Kubi Nova. It's just a little bit smaller than the XL Begleiter, but it carries a lot lighter than the XL Begleiter. All right, we'll go over the nitpicks and complaints one more time. Like I said, I would have loved to see them inset the clip into the scales, but like I said, they did countersink the screws at least. And also, I would have liked to see this not flex as much, but like I said, I was told that the G10 ones are a more rigid material and they don't flex like this version does. So my final thoughts, do I recommend it? Highly. If this is something that interests you, if you like bigger knives, if you like bigger knives that carry like smaller knives, then this is going to be the one for you. This is an outstanding knife, and the price is right. My micarta versions are 70 bucks. The G10 ones are 67, or you can get it if you want it with a lot more rigid feeling. You can get it with the milled out stainless steel scales for 70 bucks as well. So I think it's an excellent value, excellent knife. And I can't wait to see what CJRB does next. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. I hope everybody's having an absolute amazing day. I will see y'all on the next one. Peace!